Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi Onwucholoba. We are here once again this beautiful afternoon. Who is here with me? Who is excited to go on the journey today? Who is ready to learn? Who is ready to unlearn? Who is ready to move forward? Who is ready for the next step in this journey that we began? Growth Habits with Ngozi once again. Every Tuesday, right here on Facebook by 12 in the afternoon, Nigerian time. Who is here? Welcome. Welcome, welcome each and every one of you that are joining me. Welcome to those that will watch this on the replay. I didn't actually realize how many people are watching this program on the replay until I had somebody come up to me some days back and said, "This is me coming out of my comfort zone." So when she said initially, I was like, okay, maybe she's just saying something that she felt, and she said it again. She said, "This is me coming out of my comfort zone." I turned, I looked at her, I was like, I don't understand. Let me know whether, it's something else that you're saying. She said, "I watched your program on the replay. I watched it. And this is me coming out of my comfort zone," which is what I said on one of the days when I talked about coming out of your comfort zone. So I am so grateful. I am so grateful for all the people that watch this program live, those that join me live, and for those that watch the replay. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Thank you for sharing your time with me. As I always say, honestly, you have options of where to spend this 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 1 hour. You have options. There are so many things you can do with your time, so many places you can choose to be, but you choose to share this time with me, and you choose to go on this journey with me. I am eternally grateful to you. Thank you all so much for showing up. Welcome once again to Growth Habits with Ngozi Onwucholoba, and I am your personal guide in this journey of growth. Yes, we started this journey several weeks back. Like joke, like play, one step at a time. We are moving along on this journey. And let me say this right off the bat. I will repeat it later on. Our next session, that's next week, Tuesday, is going to be a question and answer session. So please get your questions ready. You can send them ahead to me so that I can maybe begin to work on those ones. And please join on that Tuesday to ask your questions about growth. Okay? So welcome once again to Growth Habits. My name is Ngozi Onwucholoba, your personal guide in the journey of growth. So let's do our recap, as we usually do, of all the sessions that we have done, all the things we have spoken about. And as you join me, please share with me what has stuck with you in these sessions. Anything that has stayed with you all this while in these sessions, please share with me. So we started with the first session that was just a general introduction to growth, and what is growth and all that. And we agreed that growth is a process. We agreed that it's not something that just happens overnight. It is something that happens day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. We also agreed that growth doesn't really stop. You don't stop growing until you die. Okay? So if for any reason you think you have stopped growing, I'm sorry, something is wrong. So growth is a process, it's continuous, and it doesn't just stop. It's something that keeps on going. In our second session, we spoke about the mindset that is needed for growth. We agreed that if you have a fixed mindset, you cannot grow. It's not possible to grow when you have a fixed mindset, when you don't believe that changes can happen, when you don't believe that you can do better, when you're satisfied with where you are, you really cannot grow. So that was our second session. Our third session, we spoke about your habits, and we talked about optimizing your daily habits, the things you do every day in order to enable you to grow. We agreed also that some of the habits that we talked about, you cannot imbibe all. In order for you to choose the ones that best suit you, you must know who you. You must understand you. You must know who you are. You must know where you are going. And with that, it's easier to know the habits to imbibe that will help you get to where you are going. In our fourth session, we talked about your circle of friends. And we said that you have to be careful the people who are around you. And we agreed that amongst that your circle of friends, you have to have someone whose present looks like your future. Someone who has gotten to where you're trying to go has to be amongst your circle of friends, because the person will provide the motivation for you to move forward in your journey of growth. Once you don't have such a person, the tendency is to, you won't even realize you're not growing. You will think you're making progress, but you won't know that that progress is a bit stunted. And also you have to have people who are also going the same journey that you are, people who are also on the same road that you are, who are probably where you are now, but also heading to where you are also heading. That was our fourth session. Yes, that was our fourth session. And in our fifth session, we talked about measuring growth. And we looked at all the ways we could measure growth. And we agreed that for you to measure growth, you have to have data. You have to have data. You have to know what you are doing. You have to know where you are going. You have to even know the process you are going through. You have to have data in order to measure, so that you can know that I have gone this far from where I was, and this is how far I still have to go. In our sixth session, we talked about balancing inputs and outputs, and we talked about basically rest as an input, because most of us, we are good with our outputs. All the activities, those are our outputs. The things that we do all the time, those are our outputs, and most of us, we are good in that area. But the inputs that replenish us, we don't really do much about that. And we talked about rest, and we talked about rest in a lot of different ways. We talked about emotional rest, physical rest, spiritual rest, and the rest of it. Then in our seventh session, that was when we talked about coming out of your comfort zone. Welcome, Charity. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Good to have you here. Yeah, so we talked about, that was when we talked about coming out of your comfort zone. That was our seventh session. We talked about coming out of our comfort zone. And that was the day I said what I said about this is me, coming out of my comfort zone, which someone saw me somewhere and began to say to me. So yes, we said that nothing grows in the comfort zone. As long as you're in your comfort zone, growth will not happen. So you need to step out of that comfort zone. Put yourself out just a little bit. Just put yourself just slightly. You don't even need to jump out of the comfort zone. Just take a step out of the comfort zone, and you will see that growth happens outside of the comfort zone. In our 8th session, we talked about our blind spots, identifying your blind spots, and we agreed that you need to find someone that will be able to identify your blind spots for you, because they are your blind spots. You can't see behind you. So you need someone to hold up that mirror behind you for you to see, okay? And that person should be someone that is objective. We don't need somebody that is biased. You don't need somebody that's afraid to tell you the truth. There has to be someone that will tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Someone that will not hold back. So that was what we agreed in our 8th session. In our 9th session, we talked about learning from people who inspire you. And I remember that I talked about the fact that many of us have people that inspire us, whom we say we are following, but the point is that we are just following them. We are not learning from them. We don't know their habits. We don't know what they did to get to where they are. We don't know the practices they employed. We don't know, but we are following. So we need to begin to learn from those people that inspire us. So take out time, understudy them truly. If it's someone that is close enough for you to ask questions, ask questions. If the person is not close enough, and maybe somebody, a famous person, a celebrity, read up their life stories. You will be able to get 1 or 2 points about how they got to where they are. And that way you can learn from them. Our 10th session was to learn to deal with difficult people, because I said in this journey of growth, you will meet difficult people. It's not me. You will meet them. They are part of the journey. They are an intricate part of the journey. Without coming across some difficult people, there are some things you just cannot learn, really. There are some things you cannot imbibe. If all the people you are coming across are good, nice, you know, people, they don't shake, how they say it, rock the boat. Yes, they don't rock the boat, they just align. There are some, they won't learn how to, you know, face some situations. They won't learn how to face some circumstances that might come your way unless you come across difficult people. And once you learn how to deal with difficult people, anywhere you meet them, it becomes easier, because you will keep meeting them as you journey, as you come to different levels of life. You meet different kinds of difficult people seated and waiting for you at that point. So we agree that the way to deal with them is basically to deal with them in love. Try to put yourself in their shoes, try to understand where they are coming from, and then act along those lines. Okay, so that is that is the recap of all that we have done so far. So today we are going to talk about letting go of the past. Letting go of the past. And you might ask, why are we talking about letting go of the past? For you to move forward, for you to go to the next step, you truly have to drop the baggage of the past. You have to let go the things that hold you back. Sometimes we don't even realize these things are holding us back. Sometimes we don't even realize that the pains, the hurts that come from maybe past relationships, past things people said, you know, things people did, we don't realize that those things are holding us back. Excuse me. We might even say that we have forgiven the people and we have moved on. But let me tell you, most times we truly have not moved on. We may have even actually forgiven. We may. It's possible that you have truly forgiven the person that hurt you. You know, is one of those things, and you think you have moved on, but you have not. Let me tell us a story, personal story. So last week during the mentorship group that I run, we discussed this thing in the session that we had last week, and I gave an example of something that when I was a young Christian, I had a very good friend and a senior person to me, okay, both in age actually and in Christianity, and she was a prophet by calling, no doubt about it. She worked and operated in the prophetic, but the problem I had was that almost all her prophecies seemed negative to me, and they were quite controlling. If she told me, for example, do not travel, something will happen, and between me and God, I settled it that, okay, God, yes, something was supposed to happen, but I take authority, give me the permission, and I travel. It becomes a problem because I didn't obey her prophecy or her instruction. And another thing that happened, I noticed, was that some things I would tell her in confidence, they would become prayer points. somewhere else. Maybe during a prayer meeting somewhere, I would hear prayer point that, I mean, I know it's me. I know it is me. I know it is my situation. I know it's what I discussed with you. Welcome, Abigail. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Welcome. So, as I was saying, so I gave this example to them in that our mentorship group, and I said that I had forgiven and I had moved on. That was what I said in that group. But as I was even talking, as I was giving this talk that day, the Holy Spirit was just calling to my remembrance that you have not moved away from this hurt. You have not moved away from it. Welcome, Joy. Welcome, Yani Oboma. I'm glad to have all of you here. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me on Growth Habits. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. As I say, you could have chosen to be anywhere else, but you chose to be here. Thank you. Thank you so very much. So the story I was telling. So I was telling them, but as I said, even as I was talking that day, the Holy Spirit was bringing to remembrance to me situations that where I was maybe like in a group and someone began to, you know, write out a prophecy or something they received. Honestly, without thinking about it, I shut down. I will not even read the rest of the prophecy. I will not even read the rest of whatever it you're saying. If it is a message you sent, like a voice note, I would not listen to it to the end. Unconsciously. And why was this? See, it wasn't because I had not forgiven the lady for all the things, you know, all the emotional, because it was actually an emotional thing. It's not as if she beat me or anything, you know. It's not as if she did any physical harm per se to me, but emotionally, she wounded me. And she made me wary of prophecies. Okay, so as I said, I've forgiven her because, okay, the lady has passed away, but even before she passed away, we relate. We talk. If we need to meet, we meet. I didn't have anything in my mind personally against her. So in my mind, I had forgiven. But as I was talking that Thursday, I realized that yes, I had forgiven. But the hurts, the pains that had been inflicted had not healed. Because I was still wary of prophecies. Yes, there are some people that when they give prophecy, I listen and I, you know, pay attention. There are some people. But any random person, sorry, giving prophecy, I will not listen. I will not hear you. Even if, no matter how right it's sounding, I would not. So I realized that, yes, I had forgiven, but the pains that came with that dealing, I had not dealt with it. The hurt in my heart that came with that whole drama of that period, I had not dealt with it. It was still hanging around in my heart. And so after the session in that mentorship group that evening, I had to sit back and do some of the things I'm going to talk to us about today, so that truly, inside, I could heal. So that I could begin to not miss out because of this person wants to prophesy, I cut you off. You understand me? So it's easy to say I have forgiven, I have moved on. But the hurt that came with it, has it truly been dealt with? If it is not, you truly cannot move forward. You truly, oh, this reminds me, okay, maybe I shouldn't say this because I think the person is watching. So it has to be dealt with, the pain, the hurt that comes with those activities, those pains, those things that the person, because true to the people inflicted the pain, we are not doubting that the pain was inflicted. We are not excusing whoever it is that inflicted the pain. No. What I'm telling us today, that for us to now go forward, we must deal with that pain. We must deal with that pain, and we must go past that pain. Because when we don't, we'll just be going around in circles. We'll just be going around in circles. We'll just be holding ourselves back. Now, it's not the person holding you. It's not the devil holding you. It's not your village people holding you. You are holding yourself back because you chose. Because you see, this is a choice. It's not about how I'm feeling. No. It's that I choose to let go. So we must learn to let go of the past. It is essential. But no matter how far ahead we go, no matter how far forward we move, when we have not dealt with those hurts, they come back and pull you back. They appear somewhere in your future and drag you back. They appear somewhere in the future, and those hurts, those pains will drag you back. So please, let's learn to deal with those past hurts, those past pains, get over them so that you can truly move on. So how do we do this getting over? How do we move past? How do we let go of this past? What do we do in order to move forward? The first thing we need to do is to accept that we must move forward. Sure, it sounds strange, but see, like I said, this is a decision. You must accept that there is a need to move forward. There is a need to let go. There is a need to drop the hurts, to drop the pains. If you have not accepted this in your heart, you can't move forward. Because it's not magic. It's not magic. There is no magic to these things. There is no magic to it. So you must accept that there is a need to drop, let go of the past and move forward. If you have not accepted it in your heart and in your mind that there is a need to move forward, you will remain where you are. And the pains and the hurts will see. Let me tell us something. One thing that I have come to see, maybe it doesn't happen to any other person, but it happens to me. Anything that I have not truly dealt with in my life, for example, this past hurts we are talking about, anything that I have not dealt with, truly settled it and moved ahead, left it in the past and moved on, it meets me somewhere in the future. If it keeps repeating, it becomes a circle. Maybe it doesn't happen to you, but it happens to me. If, let's assume, I've not dealt with anger in my life, and people still get me riled up and I get upset, you find that people who will upset me, there are many, multitude. As I'm going along my journey, trying to move forward, they are just appearing one after the other. One after the other. Because I have not learned any lesson that you don't learn from. You are, I don't want to say doomed, but you are bound to repeat that lesson. You are bound to repeat it until you learn the lesson. Until you learn the lesson, you will keep repeating it. I hope I am making sense this afternoon. I hope we can all hear me. I hope we are understanding the things that I am speaking today. We must accept. Step one to moving forward, to letting go of the past, is to accept that I must let go. We just accept it and move on. Because if you have not accepted it, I don't know. I really don't know how we can move on if in our heart we are still, I'm okay. I can do without sorting this out. I can do without dealing with this pain. I don't know. I don't know how far we can go. I really don't know how far we can go. So truly, we have to accept it. And one of the how do I put it? One of the ways to accept the situation and to accept you must move on is to sit down and ask yourself, what are the reasons? Why is it that I need to move forward? You know, when you ask yourself these questions, the answers are actually inside, though. They are there. You know the answers, you just have not realized it. You just have not realized it. So if you sit down and you ask yourself the questions, why am I here, self? Why did this particular thing hurt me so much? Why did this person hurt me so much? What was it about what this person did that hurt me? What was it about this situation that put me where I am now? Why was it so painful for me? For me, key point, because it might not be painful for another person. But why was it so painful for me? What about this situation touched me so much? As you sit and you figure this out and you ask yourself the hard questions, it is not easy. You must ask yourself the hard questions and answer those questions. I did it for this situation I told us about the person that, you know, made me begin to disdain prophecies. I had to say that, what was it about this that hurt me so much? And it was the person that did it. Because I felt this person was too close to me. One was my senior in this journey of Christianity. So I felt she should know better. You know, that was one of the reasons why it hurt me so much, because you were supposed to be guiding me. You were supposed to be leading me aright, leading me on this path that we both chose at different times, but we both chose the path of walking with God. And instead of guiding me in that path towards God, you are guiding me on a path to what you say, I must do that which you have said. One. And the second thing that hurts me in that situation was the fact that I expected her to keep the things I told her private. I didn't expect it to become the source of prayer point outside. Of course, she never mentioned my name. Let me be clear. She never mentioned my name in any of the prayer points. She did not say, let's pray for Sister Ngozi. No. She would say, let's pray. No, we have people in this church who, bang, 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 bang. She will list out my issues. The things I had told her in confidence. Timmy, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm so glad that you are here. And I hope that you will learn something and take some value out from our discussion today. So that was why it hurt me. And when I could face that, once I sat down and faced that and realized why it hurt me and realized that if I don't move forward, this was the most important part of it. I knew in my heart and I agreed and I told myself, Ngozi, if you do not move forward, one day a prophecy that is meant to be of value to you, you will miss it. Something that God wants to pass across to you through maybe a stranger, maybe through someone that, like I said, a random person in a group or something. We will miss it. I will miss it. So I had to tell myself the hard truth and begin to go on that journey of healing, of accepting that, yes, I was hurt. Yes. But I need to move forward. I can't stay in that place of being hurt. It is not of any benefit to me. The person in question is now aware. Well, she's late. She has gone to be with the Lord. But even when she was still here with us, she did not know. She did not know that I was carrying all this hurt, that I was carrying all this pain. Yes, once in a while, I try to talk to her that, you know, your prophecies always seem so negative, and it's not as if you don't bring she brings solutions as per let us pray. That is the solution now, so that we pray against this thing happening. Yes, but even after praying against whatever it is happening, you still expect me to, for example, let's say it's do not travel. You still want me to not travel because you have given the prophecy. So those were the things that kind of, you know, hit me differently. Maybe for another person it would be different, you know, but those were the things. And I had to sit down and deal with it. I had to sit down and deal with it. So that tomorrow, when a random person, as I said, I'm careful to say random person, because if I'm in church and my pastor gives prophecy, I listen, I hear it. That's why I'm telling you that if we really do need to sit down and figure out why these things hurt us and why we need to move away from it. Because if I'm in church and my pastor gives a prophecy or gives a word, I listen. I listen. Or some people that at least I've tried, let me say I've tried and tested, I listen. But if, let's assume in a group, random person that I'm not close to, if they're giving prophecy, before you even begin, I've shut it down. If it's maybe written, I scroll past. If it's voice note, I close it. You send one video to support, I shut it down. I don't even listen. I don't care. But you see, in doing that, I could have missed a message God is trying to send to me. Because God does not have to use the people I know. He doesn't have to use my pastor. He can use anybody. All right, so I had made up my mind. Welcome, Ozo. Ozo Koli. I almost called you that other name, but let me not disgrace myself or yourself on telephone, on live. Let me not just bother. Let me hold that one. Kelechi, welcome. Joe, thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're welcome. So the first step is to accept that you have to let go of the past. It's a must. It's not an option. It's a must. It's a must. Okay, so after you have accepted that it's a must and began to do the self-assessment you need and began to ask yourself the hard questions, and you've gotten the answers in your heart, the next thing you need to do is begin to look at, well, this is actually part of the first part, but let me look at it separately. The figuring out your emotions. The figuring out why you're reacting the way you're reacting. The figuring out why this thing, yes, why this thing is hurting you the way it hurts you. So that is a step all by itself. So it's not just that, okay, I've agreed, I've accepted that, yes, I need to move on. I have seen this thing hurt me, yes, this person hurt me, this situation was hurtful. You really do need to sit down and figure out why. Why did this hurt you? A very important step. Do not skip it. Why did this situation hurt you? What about it was hurtful? What about it was hurtful? Was it the way the person said what they said? Was it the fact that the person said what they said? You know, that is a different thing. Or was it the situation in which the person said what they said or did what they did? You need to figure this out. You need to know the reasons. Truly, we need to know the reasons, and it's knowable. We can know it. You can know it. The point that most times we don't sit with our thoughts, we don't sit and feel what we are feeling. Many of us, especially from this side of the world, we don't do emotions. Really, I don't know how to put this now. If you're a Nigerian, you understand what I'm saying. We don't sit with our emotions. We don't allow ourselves to feel the hurt in order to figure out why it is hurting us. I'm not saying wallow in your thoughts or in your emotions or in your hurts or in your pains. You're not wallowing in it. The wallowing helps no one. it helps no one. Don't just bother. Don't give yourself that extra work. But to reflection. Thank you, Uzo. Reflection. Sit down and reflect. We don't do it generally, especially when it has to do with how we feel. We reflect on other things. Most times, we reflect on other things, but we don't reflect on our emotions. Why am I feeling this way? For us to be able to move away, move beyond our past, to let go of our past, is a very important step. To sit with your emotions and figure out the whys. When you figure out the whys, honestly, that particular kind of activity or that cannot hurt you again. It can't, because you have overcome it. You have moved and you have learned the lessons involved in it, and you have moved on. It will not hurt you again. Even if someone else does exactly the same thing to you, you will look at it and move. You will not feel the pains any longer. Okay, so now you have accepted that it's a must. You have sat and figured out your habits. You have figured out why you're feeling the way you're feeling. You have figured out, why did this hurt me? And you've reflected on your emotions. Yes, yeah, okay. Joy says, yeah, it's not easy. Like I said, this is not an easy, this letting go, it is not easy. More especially when it's coming from someone you love. Truly, that is the strongest one. That is the most difficult one. It is the most difficult one. It's different that a stranger hurts you. You can more easily just, okay, it's a stranger. But if it's someone that is close to you, someone that you love, it is harder, but you can do it. Like I said, you need to sit down and figure out, what about this thing hurt me? It's not just that the person said hurtful words. That is not really why you were hurt. It's not because the person said hurtful words. Something about that, either the words, the person, or the way in which they said it, is what is hurting you, is what is inflicting the pain. And that is what you need to sit with and figure out. That is what you need to sit with and figure out. Like I said in the example that I gave, I have other examples, but this one is because it's something that still happened recently to me. It's something, no, okay, it didn't happen recently, but the reflection on it happened recently. That is why I'm using it. I had to sit and I figured out that it wasn't even all the, giving prophecies and insisting I must follow it, whether or whether, as they say. It wasn't that. It was the fact that this is someone I felt should lead me right. And I felt she was not leading me right. Intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know. I never sat with her truly to discuss these things. I did not. But now I had to sit with myself. Now I had to sit with myself and figure out, what about this thing hurt me? And why, after all these years, this person I'm talking about passed away years ago. She didn't pass away yesterday. Years ago. Why is it that even till now, I still found it difficult to accept prophecies because of my dealings with this person? See, it has nothing to do with the person, you see. It's me. It's me. Yes, Susan says, I think most times we put people in high pedestal, and when we get disappointed, it's harrowing for what? Yes. Yeah, we expect too much from people. We entrust our happiness, we entrust our joy, we entrust our well-being in someone else's hands, including our husbands. See, no, your husband is not responsible to make you happy. I'm not saying he should not make you happy. Get my point. Your best friend is not responsible for your happiness. Your BFF is not responsible for your happiness. Your mother, your father, they are not responsible for your happiness. Your brothers, your sisters, they are not responsible for your happiness, for your well-being. You are responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for your well-being. You. So if you don't realize this, people will keep hurting you. They will never meet up to your standards. They will never. They will never. So to let go, you have to, one, accept that I am happy, that I am not hurt by this thing is me. The person doing the deed, though, most times, a lot of times, if you even ask them later, they'll be like, really, did I do that? They will not even remember, a lot of them. They will not even remember this action that you are here struggling with. They won't remember. But you have been dying in silence. So let go. It's like I said, you have to accept that you must let go. No matter how difficult, no matter how hard it is, you must accept that you will let go for your sake. Not for the sake of that person, no. Not because of the relationship, no. For me, I have to let go for me. And then begin the process. Sit with those emotions. Figure out, why you're hurt by it and all that. And then the next thing is to begin to condition your mind. Begin to condition your mind. And see, this condition of mind is every day, every minute, not even just is what you do constantly. Begin to condition your mind. Begin to accept and begin to say to yourself, not even now accepting per se, begin to say to yourself, I can get, or I can go beyond this. I can get over this thing. Begin to condition your mind that it's not about the other person. It's not about the other person. What they did is not even what we are talking about, because people can do some pretty horrible things. They do some pretty terrible things. They do. They are human beings that I don't even know how their own is. I don't know how they are created. They just keep dishing out hurts, pain to others. And as they are dishing it out, they don't know. They do not know. So those people are there. Your own is to work on you. Begin to understand that, yes, this healing is for me. Self is for me. It's not for the other person. It's not for them. They can go with their character, with their whatever. It is well with them. Let them continue. Let them continue. But for your own sake, so that your heart will even be light. I don't know if I've ever experienced the lightness that comes from letting go. Have we ever really experienced it? Welcome, Kelechi Jovita. Welcome, Meshichi Edwin. I'm so glad to have you all here. Thank you for coming. So have we experienced that relief that comes from letting someone go? When you experience it, you want to keep experiencing it. You want to keep being in that state of freedom, of relief. For your sake, let go. Let go of the past. For your sake, not because of the person. Even if it's your husband. I repeat, even if it's your spouse. Don't entrust your happiness to anyone. Nobody has the responsibility to make you happy. Nobody has the responsibility to make you feel good. It's not anybody's responsibility, but yours and mine. That is why the Bible tells us to, fix our eyes on Jesus. Forget people. They will always disappoint, my dear. They will always disappoint. Fix your mind and your heart on the one that does not disappoint. When you do this, the hurts become less. It's not that they don't happen, no. They still happen. We are human beings. We have feelings. We have emotions. Okay, so condition your mind. Just prepare your mind and know that, yes, I have to move forward. I have to do the hard work. Because it is hard work to move this forward. To let go of the past, it is hard work. And you will do it for your sake. Once you have done this, shift the focus. Shift the focus from the person. Shift the focus from, the pain. And begin to focus on you. Begin to focus on you. Shift the focus. Like I said, see, these things I'm saying, they are things you do intentionally. They don't happen by magic. They do not happen by magic. They do not happen, nobody will lay hands on you and it happens. No. No. It doesn't work like that. And that is why many of us, truly, honestly, a lot of us, we go through pains, we go through problems, we go through difficulties, we go through challenges, and they keep building up because we have not dealt with the past. The one that happened 5 years ago, we didn't deal with it. Then another one happens 3 years ago. You don't deal with it, you add it back. You add it. Now another one happens last year. You add it to the previous two. Only you carrying all this weight. Only you bearing all this burden. Only you. Drop them, my sister. Drop them, my brother. Drop them. Let go. Let go. Don't give that person that kind of control over your life. Because you see, that person that is able to make you carry pain is controlling you. That person that's able to make you carry hurt for years is controlling you. Controlling you completely. That person is in charge of you. So drop, let go. Take back control from them. Take it back. It's an intentional thing. It's something you decide and something you do. I can't do it for you. I cannot lay hands on you and you begin to forgive. And you begin to let go of the past. And you begin to move forward. It doesn't happen that way. God does not even expect it of you. He expects you to deal with it so that next time that will not be an issue. That will not be a problem. That will not hinder you in any way, shape, or form. So shift the focus from the hurt, shift the focus from the person, and focus on you. Bringing yourself into that place of peace. Bringing yourself into that place of release. At times, when we carry this pain, for those that are Christians, you know that it's not easy to pray when you have pain in your heart. For those that are Christians who are walking with God, you know it is difficult to sit in a place of communion with God, talking with God when you have pain in your heart. So why hinder your communication with God? Why hinder your ability to relate freely with God as a child of God because of what somebody did? Drop it. Let go. If I tell you it's easy, I lie. It's not easy, but you can do it. You can do it. Nobody wants to break down because of hurts from someone else. That is waste, truly. It's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of your emotions. It's a waste of your emotions. Because, like I said, most times, see the people that cause this hurt, they don't know, they don't care, they don't realize it. They are moving about freely. And you are the one carrying the weight. You are the one crying at night. You are the one wondering what is going on. You are the one having the sleepless nights. So let go. For your sake, let go. Shift the focus. Shift the focus. You know that what you focus on, whatever thing you focus on becomes your reality. Whatever thing you focus on becomes your reality. This is both a teaching of the Bible and even a teaching of, what they call this self-help, self-development. Whatever you focus on becomes your reality. So if every time you're focusing on the hurt, if every time you're focusing on the pain, consciously, unconsciously, that becomes your reality. That becomes your world. That is where you live. So drop it, let go. Shift the focus today. Shift it. No matter how hard. See, the shifting of the focus comes step by step. You start, one way you can start is by writing it down. There are some things you do and you begin to wonder, God, how does this even work? Have you ever tried to write down the hurts, your pains? Write them down on a sheet of paper. Then set that paper ablaze. Burn it. Burn it to the ground. Burn that paper till, no single piece of it remains. If the fire goes off and there's still a sheet of paper, set it ablaze. Make sure if you try this thing, and as you're burning that piece of paper where you wrote all your problems, where you wrote all your hurt, as you're burning it down, you're beginning to let go. This looks like, now this one looks like magic, but it works. It works. Just, that when you start writing, when you start writing down your hurts, your pains, those things that people did to you, those things in your past, those challenging situations, those challenging circumstances, those times that, things just were above too much for you. As you're writing, more is coming out. You're pouring it out. You're writing it down. When you finish writing them all down, crumble that paper. Set it ablaze. I didn't say throw it away. Set it ablaze. Burn it. The relief. And as you're burning it, you're saying to yourself, as I'm burning this, so are these pains going. So is the hurt going. So is this difficult situation going. You will begin to feel relief at that point. And then, as I said, this is an intentional thing. It's not a one-day thing. Because after you set it ablaze, one day, one random day, you will be on your own and one of those emotions hits you again. You begin again to deal with it. Begin to shift the focus once again away from what you're feeling at that time and begin to shift it. For those of us who are Christians, begin to shift your focus to Christ. If you're not a Christian and, shift it to something positive, shift your focus to a positive thought. But if you're a Christian, begin to shift the focus from what you're feeling at that moment to God. You will see that in time, it will be relieving. Before you know it is gone. And you are free. And when you see that person that hurt you the next time, you're okay with them. Welcome, my Oga, Carlo Uche. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. So yes, Uzo says freedom. It works, especially writing them down. It works. It works. I can testify. It works as you're writing. It's like it's coming out of your heart onto the paper. That is how the feeling is. It's like as you're writing it down, that hurt is coming out of your heart, landing on the paper. And then when you burn that paper, hey, oh my goodness, Christmas Day. Celebration galore in your heart. So try that. That is a practical way Try it and tell me how you felt after doing that. But as I said, shift the focus. Shift the focus. Shift the focus. Don't bother. Don't think too much on it. Yes, looking unto God. Looking unto God. You know, sometimes, like I think I've said it, okay, it's not here, it's in one of my mentorship sessions. I wonder how people who don't have the ability to talk to God, how they survive. Because that has been my own lifesaver. That has been my lifesaver. The ability to sit down and tell God what is doing me. It has saved me several times. So try it. Try it. It is a lifesaver. Now you have shifted the focus. What do you do next? Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with good people. You see, we have gone back to that circle of friends we talked about. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who will cheer you on, with people who will help you let go, not the ones that will keep reminding you of the hurt. Drop those ones. Right now, you don't need them. I didn't say unfriend them all, but for now, you don't need those ones that will keep reminding you of, you know, what you're trying to escape from. Surround yourself with positive people, people who will cheer you on, people that will say, okay, that will even be like an accountability partner for you, people that will say, what is happening? Ngozi, what is happening? What's going through your head right now? And will be able to bring you out when you're trying to go back into despair or go back into that hole you just climbed out from. Surround yourself with such people. And finally, for today, give back. See, the comfort you have received, comfort someone else with it. That comfort you have received, as you have gone through these steps we talked about, and you have seen how it worked for you, comfort someone else. Give back. Because even, like I said, if you remember when I started, I mentioned that during my mentorship session on Thursday, I spoke about this. And in the process of that speaking, I realized that I still had something. I still had a hurt. I still had a pain that I had to get rid of. It was in the process of trying to share, because I had overcome hurts in other areas. I had overcome pains in other areas. Based on those experiences, I came to talk to my mentees. And as I was speaking, I realized that there's still one hurt. Maybe there are others, I don't know. But for now, this was the one that the Holy Spirit pointed out to me at that point. And I had to deal with it. Because I have learned that any undealt with hurt continues. It repeats. The circle does not end. So give back. The comfort you have received, give same to someone else. The lesson you have learned, teach it to someone else. When you're doing that, your own becomes solidified. Your own becomes, strong. If you were still shaking on, oh, have I dealt with this properly? Am I okay? By the time you're sharing it, by the time you're giving it back to someone else, your own is becoming more and more settled, more and more dealt. You're dealing more and more with it. Remember, what did we talk about today? Letting go of the past. And I said from the beginning that there is no way for us to move into our future, to move into the next step, the next level, the next experience, if we're still carrying load from the past. If we still have undealt with hurts, undealt with pains, we can't move forward. Just look, even think about it. I want to go on a journey from here, let's say to Aba, and I'm on foot. And I have my backpack. Then I have my carry-on. And I also have my big luggage. And I'm carrying these things on this journey. How far do you think I will go? Not far. Before the weight gets to me. and weighs me down. So find a way. Find a way to drop the pain. Let go of the past. You can only go so far carrying all those loads. You can only go so far carrying all those weights. At a point, they will weigh you down and you will be overwhelmed. So let go of the past so that you can move forward in the future, to the future, with speed, with ease. Thank you all very much once again for joining me on Growth Habits. Yes, let's go to lessen the burden. Joy, I'm glad you're enjoying the talk. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. And I hope that as you're enjoying it, you're taking down the lessons. This is what makes this worth it for me. That people are applying the things that they're hearing. They're applying the things that they are learning. That is what makes it worth it for me. So thank you all once again. I'm so glad to have each and every one of you that joined me this afternoon. And for those that will join or that will watch on the replay, I am so grateful. Thank you for joining me on Growth Habits every Tuesday right here on Facebook. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your coming. Yes, Mike says, when you are blessed, be a blessing to others. Yes, share that which you have received. It helps you, it helps them. It's a double whammy. Share that which you have received. Help others with the help that you have received. Comfort others with the comfort that you have received. Thank you all once again. This is Growth Habits, as I repeat, with Ngozi Onwucholoba. I am your personal guide in this journey of growth. I am here to lead, to guide, to go with you as we grow one step at a time. And as I said at the beginning, our next session on Tuesday is going to be a question and answer session. So if you have some questions based on maybe the things we have talked about, even if it's something I've not talked about but you want to know about, please send me the questions ahead of time. It will be best if we can get the questions early so that when we start, I begin to deal with the questions. I will also take some live questions as we go on next week Tuesday. So it's our question and answer session next week Tuesday. Then the month of April is going to be a month to deal with growth in our businesses and in our careers. That is what we are going to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about in the month of April. So please, your questions that you want me to help you answer, please send them to me. You can send them to me right here on Facebook Messenger. You can reach out to me if you have my number or you want to have my number. I will always give to you. You can send me a message on WhatsApp. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me, here, even here on Facebook, and send me any question that you have. My Instagram handle is at ngozika.o. That's my Instagram handle. And remember that I run a paid mentorship program. Also, the next session starts on the 1st of April. Some people have already, I don't even know why I mentioned it now, because I had said I'm closing it. I had said I'm no longer taking any more persons into the April intake because I'm hoping I can deal with the people I have already. So, forget I mentioned the mentorship program for now. We are not taking any other persons except the people that are already on the wait list now. So, yes, thank you all very, very much for joining me today. We have overshot our time today for the very first time. Wow. So thank you all. I appreciate your time. Oh, thank you, Joy. It's also a blessing knowing you. You don't know the things you have even taught me, you yourself, Joy. If I begin to number them, you'll be surprised. So thank you so much. God bless you. Remain blessed in all and have a very, very, very lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much, and see you next week, Tuesday, right here on Facebook Live. Growth Habits with Ngozi Onwucholoba. Bye-bye.